What's up, everyone? Scott from Chernobyl Studios. Today we are going to check out the EN Hardball from Nembrini Audio. You know that already because you already watched the introductory playthrough there. That is this little session right here. Now, you might have heard that song before because that is an oldie but goodie. I did that song for a Halloween multi-track download many years ago. And the reason why I decided to bring that one back was because it really sounds a bit like Hour of Penance or Flesh God Apocalypse. And being that Nembrini Audio are an Italian company, it just made sense. It just made sense. You know, you got to do some death metal orchestration. Made total sense. So that's why I did that. Now, the guitar tone that you heard is 4 tracks. I'm showing it right here in the session. 2 of the tracks have more of a bright tone, and 2 of the tracks are much darker in tone. I'm going to show you what I did here in the session first, and then we will go and I will actually build the guitar tone live for you and walk you through the plugin so you know how to use it correctly. The great thing about Nembrini Audio, I mean, Igor Nembrini has a ton of experience. You know, if you have any of the Plugin Alliance plugins from Brainworks, that's basically Igor. So he's done a lot of products before. He's done the ENGL Savage Mark 1, and now this is based on the Powerball 2. I am definitely a fan of ENGL. You can see right there. I don't know if you can see right there. That's the Savage Mark 2. I love ENGL, so definitely wanted to check this out. Now, I bought this plugin, and then I reached out to Igor to see if he wanted to work on a video together. And then at that point, he was like, absolutely, yes. So this video is sponsored, and Igor is paying me to do this video. However, I bought the plugin before even sending him a message. I like the plugin a lot. Great. So let's check out what we've done here. So I'll go over the bright first. In this particular mix, I decided to use the Green Reaper from Audiority, another Italian company, actually. That kind of works out. However, Nembrini Audio have their own version of the 808, so I think it's free also, but I don't remember. So everything is the same. It's the Green Reaper and the EN Hardball. There we go. On every single track. So let's look at the bright. So what I was trying to do is I was trying to basically create 2 different guitar tones that will layer together that have 2 different functions. One guitar tone having the articulation and the high end that I need, and one guitar tone just kind of covering the low end, keep making sure it's not thin. Now, of all the guitar lessons and conversations I've had with Carl Sanders from Nile, when you're playing in drop D, you have to be very precise in the way that you pick and the way that you play the guitar. But having a guitar tone that has the attack and the presence that will carry the guitar tone through the mix is also very important. Okay, so I always kind of keep that in mind when I'm doing these notey drop A style riffs. Okay, so all the magic is really happening in the microphone selection that I went with. So the bright microphone here, I'm using the 421, which is a very upper mid voice. Not, I don't want to say harsh, but it's bright. And then it's just slightly getting mixed with the condenser a little bit. This one, on the other hand, is just the condenser. It's super dark sounding. I'll show you what they sound like. And I'm also using a different speaker. Now, the cool thing here is that you have different speakers, so you have different tonal options, so you can create your own unique guitar tones. I talk about this all the time in Guitar Tone Mastery. You know, if you're struggling to create guitar tones, the first step, honestly, is just to use an SM57, which we'll do here later on in the video. When we create the guitar tone, and then build your skills from there, right? So here's what we're gonna do. Nothing really is going on here, guys. I just picked the speaker that I wanted to use, adjusted the tone stack, and I've done very minimal EQ and processing on the bus. I will show you that. Go ahead and solo this. So this is just the bright guitar tone. So you can hear it's still low end in there, but it really focuses on the high end spectrum of the guitar tone, so you can really articulate the note. Because if we listen to the dark low end version, we get this. You can still hear every note, but it's not nearly as defined as the bright version. And this is almost kind of like honking and low MIDI type of guitar tone. The purpose of the dark is exactly what it says, just to be darker, to blend in with the brighter guitar tone a little bit, and to make sure that the low end is thick, that we have some low end and lows in there. Now, everything all together, of course, sounds like this. So the guitar tone sounds perfectly fine without the dark pair in there, but it's just not as full, right? So it's just a very simple trick that you can do to fill out the guitar tone a little bit, right? Now, when it comes to processing, I mean, take a guess. You know, if you've watched my channel any length of time, I'll give you 3 guesses of what I did. So Guitar Tone Mastery Alumni, there you go. It's EQ, API, multiband compression. I did not use Soothe or L1 this time, so I even used 2 fewer plugins than I normally do. But the EQ is all the same. Filters first, taking out a nasty resonance that I didn't like. This is a color EQ that I like to do. The API adds some little extra mojo that I like. So you can see the original guitar tone is still there. The API is not magically changing how the guitar tone sounds from, oh, it sounds like this, to, wow, it's completely different. The guitar tone is the same. I'm just accentuating aspects of it, right? And all those little decisions I made with the speaker and the cabinet and then the tone stack and then the EQ and then finally the API, it all leads to that. So you just can't do this and get the same result. You got to do everything in a sequence and make the right decisions. Right, so it's all there. And then finally the Andy Sneap trick, which I've done a video about. You can check the cards, whatever's up here, or whatever, they'll pop up. You can watch that if you don't know what the Andy Sneap trick is. That's all I did. That is the extent of the guitar processing and what I did in the session. So instead of talking about more of it, I thought in this video I would demonstrate it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open a different session, and then I will demonstrate creating a guitar tone in standard E, just to prove that it can be done, okay? And I'll walk you through the step of the process, also talking about different aspects of the plugin that I really like that you should know about. All right, so I've got a session up here. I grabbed my guitar. I am using the BC Rich Ironbird 1, which is a completely unremarkable guitar, definitely on the budget level standard. Stock pickups, super unremarkable guitar, man. Just nothing to speak home about, nothing special, and it's in standard E. It sounds like this. But that's what the Hardball sounds like stock. These are all default settings, completely stock. I don't even have the Nembrini Audio 808 engaged. So really great stock settings. Sounds amazing just by itself. But let's go ahead and start checking things out. So I've got the Nembrini Audio 808 overdrive, so we'll engage that. I will engage this as I would in real life, which is having the level here at 50%. I used to crank this, but I don't really do it anymore. I want to have just like a clean boost, just very, very, very subtly boosting it. So we get this result now. So thins it out a little smidge. As a touch more gain, we can hear that. All right. Now what we're gonna do in the plugin here, let me make this a little bit larger. Resizable, which is great for large monitors. All right. So we're gonna forget about everything that we see here because this is a 4-channel amp, obviously. I mean, if you want to hear the clean tone, turn this off. I mean, it's got a clean tone. we go. We've got crunch. I'm just gonna go through these really quick. Not gonna finish that. Sounds great. So I'm assuming most of you are going to be between League 3 and League 4. But I mean, you've got the crunch and the clean there if you need it, right? So let's stop looking at the tone stack here. I'm actually just going to make this very simple for all of us, just so you guys know what I'm paying attention to, okay? What I'm going to do is I'm going to put the presence and depth and pretty much everything at 12 o'clock, okay? And what I'm doing is I'm trying to set the amp essentially to be neutral, okay? The reason that I'm doing this is I want to make sure that I'm focusing only on what the speaker is doing, okay? And here in the speaker, I'm only going to worry about one microphone. I don't want to hear multiple microphones. I'm literally only going to work with one microphone, okay? And I'm going to work with only the dynamic 57, and I'm going to put the position and the distance right dead center. And I'm going to show you guys how this works, okay? Listen, I'm giving you pretty much a good summary of what Guitar Tone Master is here. Obviously, I can't go through all the details because then this video would be hours. But let me show you guys how I would build a tone, okay? That's our starting point. You want to start, you go, what does this sound like? Sounds really loud is the first thing. So I adjusted the final output volume over here to where it's about around 0 or 6. Okay, so that's good. That's good gain staging principles, right? Also discussed in Guitar Tone Mastery. So now we have the cabs. We want to understand what kind of sounds that we have. So we need to basically listen to everything. I'm going to go with the ENGL 412. I like ENGL cabs. I'm assuming this is the XXL, which I'm very familiar with and I like a lot. And it's already kind of got the scoop that I go for when I create tones. However, we do have some initial problems that we can fix with the microphone settings and these filter settings up here that are quality of life improvements by Nembrini Audio. So we're a bit boomy. Let's see if we can kind of calm down the bass response. Okay, a little bit better. So you hear the big difference here, right? I pulled the microphone away from the speaker, which reduces the amount of bass information, bass response. And so now it's not as tubby. Okay, basic stuff. So again, I mean, I don't mean basic stuff to say like, oh, you're ignorant, you don't know what you're doing. But this is stuff that's very important to know so that you can make those correct decisions, as I was mentioning before, so that if you want to do an API boost, you're boosting the tone, not trying to fix a problem, right, in your guitar tone, right? I'm pretty happy with that, but we can fix this even a bit more with these filters. So we can tighten the guitar tone. And it's exactly what it sounds like. So we're very clearly adding a lot of high mids, rolling off the low end and tightening it, but we're getting a lot of that glassy attack, which I'm not a fan of. So let's keep it like around 1, see what it does. Actually, 2. 2 is going to be good. So the low end now is really tight. Like the low end is tight and controlled, but it's kind of rumbling around, right? And once you know it, the next thing on Nembrini audio is rumble. Now we're also thinning the low end, but we're compressing the hell out of it in my ear. We're just removing all of the low end rumble and movement to kind of make the tone as even as possible, but it doesn't really sound good cranked. Let's try this. I like the way that sounds. I still have some palm mute whoop whoop whoop, but it's all tight and controlled, no rumble. All right, let's see what the harsh does. This is kind of like the soothe, what the soothe plugin might do. It helps clamp down on peaking white noise harshness that you might have in your guitar tone. Now, I would recommend you be very careful with this, because if you try to sanitize the guitar tone too much, it'll be smooth. And while it might sound cool soloed, a smooth guitar tone will have a very hard time poking up through the mix, through everything else. We haven't even touched the tone stack, by the way, if you're playing at home. And we already have a really good usable guitar tone that, 10 years ago, I would have been over the moon to have, right? And I haven't done anything. I'm just using very simple concepts with the microphone. And I have to admit that these filters that Nembrini Audio have added for this plugin, it really helps get the angle under control. So let's go ahead and enable the tube screamer now, see how much has changed. I might calm down on the tight a little bit. Cool, I like the way that sounds. I'm happy with that. So now the tone stack we will use just to do those final little bitty things that we need to do. So when it comes to ENGL, in my personal opinion, this has been my experience, and I've had a lot of success doing this, I will work backwards on the tone stack. It's very important to get the presence and treble relationship on an ENGL correct. If you don't do this, you'll be, pushing a noodle. It's just not going to work. Excellent. So the presence and treble I'm basically using to ensure that I have the note clarity that I'm looking for, okay? And the reason why I'm going back and forth with them is because the presence will open the guitar tongue a little bit, and then the treble will introduce harshness. So if you can kind of find the relationship with both of them together and kind of like meet it in the middle, as it were, you'll have a much better high end. Okay, cool. So, I mean, when I engaged the 808, it got a little bit thin and glassy for me. So I brought the filters down a little bit, which is totally fine. All right, so the last two we have are mids and bass. And there you go, gents. That is a ENGL guitar tone. Exactly how I would do it and how I would create it. Something that I would happily record with. In standard E. There it is, man. So as far as my final thoughts are about this plugin, like I mentioned earlier in the video, I bought the plugin right when it came out, straight away, before I even contacted Igor to do this video for Nembrini Audio. So I definitely love this thing. And because it's in March right now, it's still on the introductory pricing. So if you're watching this video in March 2023, I think the plugin is literally like $30, which is asinine, super affordable, like silly. Very affordable. If you want a really good ENGL in your collection to use digital wise, here you go. And I would say finally at this point in time, the LE456 can be retired because there is a better Powerball version in the Nembrini Audio EN Hardball. So LE456, you had a good run. Oh my God, what is it? 15 years now. It's been good. Good job. But now it's time for the EN Hardball to take over. And as usual, Nembrini Audio did a fantastic job. So totally recommend picking it up. Super affordable. And make sure you join their mailing list too, because very often they might do mailing list only offers with codes and discounts and stuff. So just in general, join Nembrini Audio. Really nice guy. Great plugins, high quality. So there you go. Does it suck? Absolutely not. Go pick it up. You're going to enjoy it, especially if you're a fan of ENGL. All right. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll see you in the next one.